Welcome back to the second part of Would Erwin have joined the Yaegerists or the Alliance if he happened to be alive during the events of Season 4? Today we're gonna look at the arguments of the other side that claims he would definitely be part of the Alliance. In this scenario, I again am going to assume him as the leader figure. Here he would be the leader of the new Servicorps that also were there during the events of the 6th arc, the Male arc. So instead of Hanji, he would be the commander. Because if he did not die, Hanji would not have to replace him, you know? Why would he do that? Why would he want to still be the commander of the Servicorps even after the basement? So, because, first, Erwin had always the victory, but also the safety of humankind in mind. That kinda contradicts the idea of wiping out 99% of humanity. All of us had to spend our lives drunk on something. Else, we'd have no cause to keep pushing on. Everyone was a slave to something. Even him. Erwin was a slave to finding out the truth of this world. He knew this entire world was a big lie, and he sent his soldiers into certain death, knowing he was driven by the selfish desire to find out the truth. But in the end, he gave up on that, and instead sacrificed himself for what? The victory and safety of humanity. So there was always this side in him, and in his last moments, this side was victorious. Contrary to Eren. Eren is also a sensitive being that also doesn't want people to suffer, but his dream was in the end more important. Erwin did the opposite, which kind of suggests that even if he most likely had the desire to fight against his oppressors, the world, like we discussed last time, he would not join Eren, but do the opposite and save the world from Eren and all the doom he's going to bring to humankind. Second, he always protected Eren, no matter the cost, in mind that Eren was the key to victory, and the goal there was first to get to that basement and find out what truth lies there. What is the goal after he would have learned that truth lies in the stars. Seeing that the goal kind of became a new goal with wiping out the outside world, why would he still be with Eren? That's not what they signed up for at the beginning of the second arc. Third, let's get to the real words. Erwin also has proven his insanity, yeah. But he still holds a lot of sanity, and Eren or Flocke are on a whole nother level. And I mean, you need some pretty damn loss of sanity to just go and wipe out everyone instead of trying to find ways for negotiations. And with that, I will go to fourth. Erwin is also more of a doer than a negotiator, like Eren, and that's what actually made the main difference between him and Armin, that often are portrayed by the show to share similar qualities. But Erwin is still up to negotiations and still tries to avoid battling when words are efficient enough. This is clearly shown in the fourth arc, where they overthrow the government. Erwin here chooses the strategy to not battle them, because that would cause a lot of civilian casualties, and on top, instability among the people even after they probably overthrown the old government by force. Instead, he saw the much better chances in almost completely force-free riot by just setting up different people to be on his side in the deciding moment, like Pixis, and on the fact that telling the folk stories always works. So his key was just the story of Historia, the lost real queen reclaiming her rightful throne. What I want to prove that is, it's only when he does not see the realistic outcome of words being enough that he immediately is ready to act with fighting and fighting strategies. So overall, this is not really a completely 100% point for him definitely joining the alliance. because probably he would, with his instincts, feel that this entire alien's outside world conflict situation is a case of talking won't solve the problems. But it still suggests that he would consider talking instead of stubbornly just doing his own thing. I am referring, of course, to our little big child here. In conclusion of today, I would say that Erwin shares some similarities with Eren more than the other characters. His desire to rebel against their oppressors and the cruel world that wants them in their knees is bigger than in most of the cast. Also, if he would be completely convinced that the rumbling is the solution, he would likely be someone who would be able to bring the necessary sacrifices for victory. But also, he is just still more down to earth than Eren, still seeks negotiations and harmless ways to solve problems if he sees the possibility, and the entire situation just changed after the basement. It's likely his goals would have changed after he saw the truth. So, in my conclusion, if I have to decide on one side, would Erwin have chosen to be on the Eren's side as a leader of the Yaegerists, or would he have stayed the leader of the Survey Corps and probably even led the attack on Eren's founding titan? I promised you I have the definitive answer to this discussion, and you get that in the next part of the series. You gotta keep the patience. With that, I'm out for today, and I wish you all a great